Hey, it's Remy again from Random Street Medic. Last video we talked about intranasal Narcan. This we're going to talk about intramuscular Narcan. Now I got about 10 of these kits donated to me by a friend Bonnie, so I want to give a shout out to Bonnie and say thanks. Inside of those kits, there's 2 syringes, 2 vials of Narcan, and I added some alcohol pads because it was missing them. Also inside is the instructional packet for the medication, as well as some informational brochure from PONI. It's an organization here in Rhode Island. And basically what the packet says is, how to use it, how to identify an overdose. We've already talked about that last time, so we're not going to go over it again. The main difference between nasal Narcan and intramuscular Narcan is instead of giving it in the nose, you're giving it in a muscle group, usually the arm. If somebody's smaller, you can also give it in the thigh. Now to do this, what you're going to do is there's hash marks on these syringes. What you're going to pull back on this plunger until you get to about 1.5. You're then going to pop the orange top or whatever color top you have. You're going to pop the top off of this. You're going to use your alcohol pad. You're going to clean the top of this. You're going to take this syringe, you hold it by the cap, twist right to make sure that it's, or twist clockwise to make sure that it's on tight, pull the cap off. For a workspace, I tend to like using my chest. That way I don't stab myself in the wrist or the hand or the fingers. So you're going to use your chest and you're going to ease it into the rubber stopper that's right in the middle of this. You're then going to lift up and you're going to push the plunger down until you inject all the air into the vial. You're going to pull back a little bit so that the edge of the needle is underneath the fluid that's in here, and you're going to let go. And it should draw back most of the medication. Anything that it doesn't draw back, just kind of pull down a little bit and give a little downward pressure on this plunger. After that, you're going to have a little bit of air in here. That's okay. Give it a few flicks and push up on the plunger until you get to the 1 mark right here. That's 1 milliliter. There's 1 milliliter in these containers. Once you do that and get the air out, at this point you can either twist this and pull it off and put a new one on, or if you don't have one, you can use the same one. Now for an injection site, there's a spot called the deltoid. The deltoid is a muscle group on your shoulder that goes from the top of the shoulder here all the way down to about the middle of your upper arm. You're going to find the site and you're going to hold it nice and tight with your non-dominant hand. You're then going to take the alcohol prep pad and you're going to clean the area. After you're done doing that, you're going to uncap your needle if you haven't done that, or if it is already uncapped. You're then going to go 90 degrees into the meaty part of the other person's deltoid, and you're going to go straight down. You're going to push the plunger down and you're going to pull out. Now, after this point, you want to give rescue breaths at a rate of about 1 breath every 4 to 6 seconds. You're going to give a rescue breath out of 1 breath every 4 to 6 seconds, and they should recover within about 3 minutes. If they don't, repeat the process again with the second one that's in your kit. That's how you use intranasal Narcan. Now, the second part of this is I had a friend of mine, Bonnie also donated these fentanyl testing kits. And what these fentanyl testing kits do is you can test to see if there's fentanyl present in any substances that is being used by an individual. I want to also give a shout out to a friend of mine in New York City, Tino. Tino does a lot of really good work, a lot of harm reduction, a lot of risk management with communities that struggle with addiction. Now, to use this, it comes with this little aluminum bowl. It also comes with this ampule of water. What you want to do, I'm not suggesting that people should use, and I'm not endorsing people using. I'm saying that people do, and that this is how we can address it. If someone is going to use, they can prepare whatever they're using inside of this bowl. After they're done cooking, after they're done crushing, whatever it is that they're going to do, they're going to make sure that it's nice and uniform in here. They're going to draw up into their syringe, they're going to dump it into their parachute, whatever they're going to do with it. You're then going to take this water and you're going to dump it into the aluminum bowl. So what you're doing is you're using the residue. You're not using it on the product itself. In here, behind here is a package of test strips. Take one of those test strips, hold it in that 1 ml or 7 drops of water that you put in here, hold it in there for about 15 seconds. After about 15 seconds, take the strip out, put it on a table, let it sit for about a minute. If it identifies positive, then you know you have fentanyl in your substance. If it identifies negative, then there's a pretty good chance that it's not in there. Now the reason you want to crush up any pills, by the way, is because of something called the chocolate chip cookie effect, which is something that Tino clued me in on. not all of it is going to be in one area. So there might be sprinkles of fentanyl in different parts of the pill. So that's why you can't just shave off a piece. You want to crush it up, and you want to test everything that was there. So anyway, this is Remy again from Random Street Medic. We just talked about intramuscular Narcan as well as a fentanyl test kit.